7 minutes. T-minus 6 minutes. T-minus 5 minutes. T-minus for minutes. T-minus 3 minutes. Stand by.
How about that?
And away we go. I hope you're ready for what's going to be an absolutely fantastic weekend. I hope the numpties don't ruin it for me, and I don't think they will. I don't think that's possible. It's a Football Friday, and I'll tell you right now, disclaimer, Kevin the Medium is not with us, but he's watching, and he's all hopped up on his happy pills after having ankle surgery. So you got me. It's like a Wednesday. Hello. The Larry King of Sports Talk is at your service here, streaming on Game Plus, podcast WQVZ Radio. So it's just me in hour one. In hour two, when we go to air across Vegas, Mike Davis will be joining us, our usual Friday pundit. And from the Vegas Nighthawks of the Major Indoor Football League, they got a home game weekend. I should tell you that I did ask Murph to join us. I asked Murph, and he's coaching. He's coaching this morning down there in Houston, Texas. So it's just me and you for all of hour one. Let's just get the stuff out of the way. The text line is 902-518-3033. We got a hell of a lot to get to and a very special message from our sponsors of the warm-up. It's brought to you by Uniglobe Carefree Travel Group. They are the preferred travel partner of the RP Show and the BC Lions. And Neil is getting a little antsy. I don't know the travel industry as well. I feel like the cruise that's next February with CFL stars, Adam Bighill and Jameer Thurman, it's not sold out yet. And Neil's getting a little antsy. He's like, push this. I'm like, okay. He's out there in Vancouver, BC Lions travel partner. I feel like it's only June, bro. People are, whatever. I know Kevin the Media's signed up already. So if you've never been on a cruise and you love the CFL, I would suggest this is perfect for you. And I also feel like will end up on that cruise. I can't promise it, but I feel like I will. $18.99 prices start at cruise only. Contact Neil at uniglobecarefree.ca. Get the Christmas shopping right out of the way now. Get on that CFL Star cruise. Uniglobe Carefree Travel. Neil at uniglobecarefree.ca. Okay. The big story for me, because this is the Canadian Hour, is what went on Thursday night in Winnipeg. Bomber fans, where are you? After blowing a 17-point lead and trailing by a point midway through the fourth quarter, Edmonton quarterback Cody Fajardo found TJ Luther with an 8-yard touchdown pass with 53 seconds to go, and the Elks pulled out a 23-18 victory over the Winnipeg Blue Bombers Thursday night to kick off Week 4 in the CFL. We got a huge game tonight in the football capital, the Toronto Argonauts at the Saskatchewan Roughriders. We're going to spend a lot of time on that in this hour because it's summertime and you love it, and it's the Canadian Hour, and life is great. But we can't really talk about the present until we dissect the past for a second. So last night, full disclaimer, I was broadcasting baseball last night, and our Musha Miller Express are on fire. We're the hottest team in the WCBL. We beat Sylvan Lake last night. We're going to beat them again tonight, 7 o'clock at the Ross. So I watched bits and pieces of the game. Number one, death taxes and Cody Fajardo winning. That's what you can count on in this world. And he won again. And I got this guy up in Mel. I don't know why people want to get on my ass. I think they think it's fun. I picked Winnipeg to win. I said it's win-win. If the Bombers win, then I picked the right team. If Cody wins, that's my buddy. Cody doesn't care who I pick. He's going to go out and ball out no matter what. So we're fine. So Darren and Melfort, you want to pick at me for picking Winnipeg? Go ahead. I'm happy. Cody won, number one. Number two, listen, I know enough about it. The sporadic bit that I watched in the game last night, a couple of things. The defense that the Blue Bombers were employing, I feel, was typical Richie Hall defense, and Rider fans, while for whatever reason they gnash their teeth over it, and they shouldn't. It's the bend but don't break defense. Richie's called it that. He doesn't like it, but that's what it is. It was a very soft defense. It's not a pressure defense, and they weren't employing that last night. Not from what I saw. I'm just skipping in and out watching the game. So, point being on all of that, the sports doctor, he's not a real doctor. Just so you know, Dave Patrician, the sports doctor out of Winnipeg, Dave Patrician, was on CJOB radio this morning with the headline, the question, are the Blue Bombers in trouble? Let me let you in on a little secret here, and I've been doing a lot of recovery work this morning as well, 12-step stuff, my other career. If you have to ask if the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are in trouble, the answer is they're in trouble. They've been in trouble for a while, and you didn't know. Reason I relate that to 12-step groups in the recovery field is if you have to ask if you have a drinking problem, you already have a drinking problem, and you're in it. Do you see the similarities there? How many times do I need to tell you that sports and life are parallels that way? Bombers have big problems. And I'm not going to sit here and do a victory lap and say that I had the Bombers picked to be last and Luke Wilson had them picked to be first. I'm not that kind of guy. Just saying the Bombers are in big trouble, and they have been for a while, and they're just starting to realize it. And then the other thing is the Edmonton Eskimos are 4-0 for the first time since 2017. And it's not just Cody. I happened to be watching when the scoop and score happened. And are you not like me? You're sitting there watching this Edmonton team, not just last night, but in other games, getting like flashbacks of, for me, 1990s Edmonton Eskimos, those bitches, Singer, Mobley, Alfred Payton, guys that gave us all kinds of nightmares, and they're starting to look like that again. And that's not good news for the rest of the Canadian Football League. The Bombers look old, and they have for a while. And I did say before training camps even began, their record's been going down every year. So, I mean, who couldn't see that? Jake Seresna's hurt now. They brought in Tommy Neal. These are not guys they've found, which has kind of always been the Bomber way. Like, did Willie Jefferson play? That's not an insult to Willie, because I love him, and he's told me he loves me. But did he play? Maybe he didn't play. I don't know. But we're seeing a major shifting in the Canadian Football League right now. And to be honest, it's a really good thing, unless you're Winnipeg and some of these other teams. And by the way, I'm looking at that game Saturday, touchdown Kelowna. I still think that it is the game of the week, because here's why. You got two teams sitting there at 0-2, BC and Calgary, that didn't think they would be in that spot. I've been with hockey teams, football teams, now baseball teams where, listen, you're 0-2, you're like, you know what, we knew we weren't that good anyways. Or you're 2-0, and you're like, oh, wow, what a bonus. But we thought we'd be 2-0. When you're 0-2 and you think you're going to be good, and you gave your big contract to Vernon Adams in the offseason, if you're Calgary, or with BC, everybody's blowing sunshine up your ass that you're going to be in the Grey Cup, and you're 0-2, and you're in a spot that you didn't expect to be in, that's where it gets really hard to deal with stuff and make adjustments on the fly. Benefield said it best when he was on here a couple months ago. Once you're in it, whether it's a game or a season, it can be very hard to turn around. Winnipeg's now in that boat. I feel like they kind of had a sense this might be coming. Calgary and BC did not. So that's the opening 7 minutes on the CFL. We'll come back with a hell of a lot more right after this on the RP Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge. Big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help.
Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Across America, Country Thunder Music Festivals bring you the biggest superstars. See unforgettable performances by Zach Top, Lainey Wilson, Brooks and Dunn, Keith Urban, Riley Green, the Red Clay Strays, Kane Brown, Gavin Adcock, and so many more. Join the party under the desert sky in Arizona, on the sandy shores of the Gulf in Florida, or in gorgeous Wisconsin Lake Country. It's the music you love, live and loud. Tickets, hotel, and camping info available at countrythunder.com.
21-time nominated Grammy Award winner Dwight Yoakam. Live in concert. June 24th, 7 p.m., Temple Garden Center. Dwight Yoakam. On sale now at sasktix.ca. Dwight Yoakam Live.
All right, welcome back. It is the warm-up, folks, here in Moose Jaw. Still talking about the big Dwight Yoakam show the other night, and I'll be talking about it maybe later today. But filling this first hour will not be a problem. The Larry King. You can use that, any name to fill in the Larry King style. Like, Willie in Beaumont, Texas. You're on the air. Hello. Talking about Willie Jefferson from Beaumont, Texas. Jason in Red Deer, you're on the air. Hello. It doesn't work quite as good. It's got to be an American obscure place. Ted in Yonkers. Hello. They're all good. 902-518-3033. We opened up for those that joined us late. The big story, point one of this warm-up, brought to you by our friends at Uniglobe Carefree Travel in Vancouver, the preferred travel partner of the RP show and the BC Lions when it comes to sports trips, group travel, or your next great getaway. Trust the pros who handle every detail so you can enjoy the journey. Contact Neil Chark with Uniglobe Carefree Travel. As he said in our Zoom call, he said, I'm a huge CFL fan. And I'm like, then we're going to get along great. Before I get some of these other things from the audience, because you guys are the stars of the show, Carlos in Indiana says that someone tried to crap on the death, taxes, and Cody Fajardo winning quote by listing his win-loss percentage. Facts don't matter. It's marketing. And don't worry about it, Carlos. Stick with me. We're going to keep going with the death, taxes, and Fajardo thing. Even the guy that said, Rod, you didn't even pick Fajardo to win. So what? It's marketing. Let me give you an example. Down there in Florida, there's a lot of the media that doesn't like me because I've said that the Cats and Bolts podcast is Florida's favorite and most watched hockey show. I don't know whether it is or not. That's what people, you tell them enough, they'll believe it. That's what it is. That's marketing. Okay? And so I don't care if I know they're upset. I know who they are. I don't care. Canada's team was me. Came up with that. Well, actually, J. Paul McConnell did the voice of the BC Lions, former voice of the BC Lions. I stole it from JP. But still, people still call them Canada's team. I don't know whether we are or not, and it pissed off everybody else on the CFL. I also don't care. People remember. The death, taxes, and Fajardo things pissing people off. I don't care. It's memorable. What else do we have here? Jason in Red Deer. Hello. He says, the Miller Express don't play in Sylvan Lake at all this season. That sucks. It does suck. Sorry about that. I am so glad that I don't do road games, by the way. I would love to go to Sylvan Lake. Last time I was in Sylvan Lake, Alberta, I had supper at Brian Sutter's house, and that's a story for another time. Nothing major, but that changed my life, that conversation with Brian Sutter. He's my favorite Sutter, and it ain't actually, Rich is up there. Rich and Brian are tied. But he had NHL Center Ice and didn't have a cable package. I'm like, what? All you have is the games? That's it. And Brian's, that's all I need. I said, what about Sports Center and Sportsnet? He said, I don't need to watch that. It's all crap. I just need the games. Bowing at the temple of Brian Sutter. From the audience, Vancouver Eric writes in and says, if the Elks do that to Winnipeg, what's going to happen in Kelowna? Yikes. Oh, when they just stay in the now. Vancouver, stay in the now. Worry about the Calgary game against BC. I guarantee you the coaches are. AJ Miller writes in, says, did you see John Gruden get his CFL box? I did. Actually, AJ Miller on YouTube, you don't clearly follow our Instagram page. You should follow it at The Rod Pedersen Show. Not only did I repost the video of John Gruden getting his box from the CFL head office, I also posted the photo of what I got from the CFL head office. Frankly, I think mine's better, because Gruden's was from every team. Mine was CFL branded merchandise, hats, Tilly hats, mug, football. I think mine's better. Okay. Thank you, by the way, for the reminder, gentlemen, that it's not just CFL going on. We'll come back on the other stuff. Point 2 of the Quick Six show topics. The Toronto Maple Leafs are the top pick in tonight's NHL draft. Canadian forward Gavin McKenna is expected to be taken with the first overall selection. The Maple Leafs, who won the draft lottery last month, could also use the pick on Swedish forward Ivar Stenberg. The San Jose Sharks hold the second pick. The Vancouver Canucks will pick third ahead of the Buffalo Sabres and New York Rangers. The draft will be held over 2 days at KeyBank Center in Buffalo. Why I'm not spending as much time on that is because it's Canada. Everybody else is. Nobody else is talking CFL, and frankly, that's why you're here today. So I'll just spend I'm going to spend way more time on this in hour 2. We'll do a lot more hockey talk in hour 2 when we go to air across Nevada. Right now, we're streaming on Game Plus and also YouTube Live, our own channel, and WQVZ Radio. It's a Football Friday. Something just dawned on me. I don't mind admitting that I am a very slow learner in life, but at the very least, I eventually do get it. He does get it, Martha. Eventually, he does get it. It was when the NFL draft was going. It was just a couple of months ago, the NFL draft. I'm like, why are you all, I'm talking about Americans, so into this draft? Because you really don't know the prospects. They know 1 to 10 pretty well, American football fans, but past 10, they don't have any idea. Yet 750,000 people showed up in Pittsburgh to watch this thing live. What the hell? It's because they make it an event, number one, and number two, they all are fans. That's for the people that go live. But probably the biggest reason, the actual number one, is that they just want to know who their team's drafting. They don't know, because I've never been the big draft guy my whole life. As hockey guy number one, it's just not been that interesting to me, other than wanting to know where my friends went or the players on the team for which I was working and all the rest. And I'm assuming it's the same for NHL fans. I don't really, just never really got into it. Now, having said that, I woke up this morning and Jared Dumba's just hopping up and down. I almost had to shoot him with a tranquilizer dart. He's so excited about round one. But he knows all the prospects. He's done all the history. But if that's what you came here for, you're not going to get that, because I'm not a scout. So I will be tuned in, and that's our poll question today for Country Thunder. The biggest party this summer is coming to Craven, Saskatchewan, not Calgary, Alberta. That's a story for another day. But we got the biggest party coming here July 9th to the 12th at Craven. CountryThunder.com/SK is where you get your tickets to see Lainey Wilson, Creed, the RP show. It's going to be a big time. Will you be watching the NHL draft? I saw 83% something? Jason and Red Deer, you'll have to help me, saying no, they won't be watching it. So that's as far as I'm willing to go on the NHL draft today. More time on it next hour. Point 3, I'm mentioning this. Australia and Paraguay played to a scoreless draw. Oh, for the love of God, why did I click on that? This laptop's driving me nuts. Australia and Paraguay played to a 0-0 draw. That's exciting. And a result that clinched a spot in the knockout round for the Socceroos and will likely be enough for the Paraguayans to advance. In the other Group D action, Ayan scored late in stoppage time to give Turkey a 3-2 win over the USA, but the Americans had already secured top spot in Group D. I'll just say this. I'm watching TSN Sports Center last night because I still enjoy the gobbledygook, unlike Brian Sutter. And I'm sitting there watching James Duthie's outstanding coverage from Vancouver, and Matthew Shinetti, two longtime friends of mine. I sat there and I'm thinking, God dang, those guys have been on this channel for so long. And it's because they do such a great job. And I saw the scrum with Jesse Darsh, the Team Canada coach. The media literally had the balls basically to say, you said that Alphonso Davies was going to play against Switzerland, then he never played. So why's that? And he's like, are you kidding me? We got games to win. It's called decoys. He looked incredulous that the media would even ask him. You said he was going to play, but that he didn't play him. What happened? Welcome to the media in 2026. Point 4, the Toronto Blue Jays infielder Ernie Clement is heading to the MLB All-Star Game after finishing as the surprise top recipient of fan votes among American League players. More on that coming up an hour or two, because you guys all came here today to talk football, so let's get back into it. 902-518-3033 is the text line. Wayne in Victoria writes in. He says, I'm surprised that the Bombers' O-line isn't better, having brought in Broxton from BC. He says, well done, Cody. He didn't shoot the lights out, but he came through when it counts. Kind of is the name of the game. And also, Wayne says, I don't know that the Eskimos are as good as you think, Rod, but they are much improved. Plus, their running back, Justin Rankin, is scary good. In the spirit of John Frenzy, and it was Bill Parcells who said it first, but nobody really paid attention to it till John Frenzy made it famous. You are what your record says you are. End of story. The Eskimos are 4-0. Is that 4-0? 3-0? What? I think it's 4-0. It's got to be 3-0. Whatever. For the first time since 2017. They're unbeaten. They're not as good as their record. Shut up! Vancouver Eric writing in on the YouTube chat. When you have a crappy NHL franchise, you spend a lot of time on drafts. Got it. 57% say they will not be watching the draft on YouTube. The YouTube vote. 57% say no, they won't be watching it. Yeah, you're all here for football today. I get it. The Snowman's checking in from Indiana. What up, Snowman? Oh, thank you. Oh, man. We're in the flow. Kevin Nealon in Happy Gilmore, we all thought he was nuts in 1997 when that film came out. He was 30 years ahead of his time. It's not new thinking, by the way. Dave Killer Carlson in Slapshot, Charlestown Chiefs, 1970. I know all the other guys laugh at me. One with the universe. Nothing else matters. Get in the flow. Bill from Whitby, Ontario, you have said, good morning, crew. I'm looking forward to the Argos win tonight. Here's one for you. This little one day at a time mantra isn't just a cute little phrase that I put on my bracelet. It really works for me, one day at a time. So I got up this morning after having broadcast another Miller baseball awesome victory last night. Started reading the game notes for tonight's game for Saskatchewan-Toronto. And I loved what I saw in that. Chad Kelly has never lost to the Saskatchewan Roughriders. He's 3-0. And I'm like, I see a meme forming here. Why even play the game? And the Argos are only allowing 48 yards rushing per game? And A.J. Ouellette's not even playing? Why even play the game? Robin Winthorst writes in, he says, a quarterback who always finds a way to win and running back who can dominate a game is a great winning recipe. Elks are looking good. Oh, yeah, and I hearken back to what I said last year about Mark Killam. I said this guy's going to win a lot of games. Somebody wrote into rodpeterson.com this morning on my Friday commentary where I said, I can't remember what I said, something about death, taxes, and Fajardo winning, and the reader said, with that group running the Edmonton football team, they're going to be just fine, i.e. Chris Morris, Ed Hervey, and Mark Killam. And to be honest, as a longtime CFL lover, of which I am, it was hard to sit back and watch what was going on and just seeing it being allowed to happen. And to be honest, I get it. I've been around these leagues for a long time. Like Randy Ambrosie was the commissioner at the time. I've gone to commissioners back in the day on various teams and said, can you not step in? And the commissioners always say, we cannot. How boards, our owners decide to run their team is none of our business. That's what the leagues that I've worked in, and I'm pretty sure it's the same in like the NFL and stuff, which I'm starting to get a pretty good idea there. Not much different there, but they destroyed that franchise to the point that they should have bankrupted it. I had somebody with that team say to me, if we were a private team, we'd have folded by now. That was a few years ago in Edmonton. So anyways, I'm loving the CFL talk. I hope you are too. We'll be right back on the RP Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly, we built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics, game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection, booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Across America, Country Thunder Music Festivals bring you the biggest superstars. See unforgettable performances by Zach Top, Lainey Wilson, Brooks and Dunn, Keith Urban, Riley Green, the Red Clay Strays, Kane Brown, Gavin Adcock, and so many more. Join the party under the desert sky in Arizona, on the sandy shores of the Gulf in Florida, or in gorgeous Wisconsin Lake Country. It's the music you love, live and loud. Tickets, hotel, and camping info available at countrythunder.com.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina. This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
All right, as I said, I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. It's getting good. 902-518-3033 is the text line. We got some great stuff in there. The RP Show brought to you by Suds. Are you stuck for gift ideas? Suds gift cards. They're available online at our location or at Costco. They are the ultimate for anyone who loves a clean ride. Visit sudsregina.com. And in hour two, Mike Davis joins us, who told me off air a while back. He's like, I can talk about the CFL for days. Same thing. I'm like, we'll get along just fine, Mike. You and me. The guest spot brought to you by Prairie Panels. Are you building a shop, barn, rink, or commercial space? Prairie Panels provides high-quality insulated wall and roof panels designed for durability and energy efficiency. Visit prairiepanels.ca or give them a call, 306-985-0050. Trust me, everybody, I'll get to your comments. But I'm honestly having a little more fun reading the comments on our Facebook page, which you should go to it. There's a whole lot of stuff. You think this is just a 2-hour show daily? You should see the party happening on our Facebook page and to a certain degree our Instagram page. For instance, I made this meme of Chad Kelly and said Chad Kelly has never lost to Saskatchewan, 3-0. Rider fans, of which I'm one card-carrying member, I would suggest, of the Rider Nation. They're special. They're special. Marianne writes in, says, that's a good way to rev up Rider Nation. If I didn't know anything better, I would assume that's why this was posted, especially with the cheesy picture of a guy who has no business playing a professional sport after his actions off the field. Rick writes in and says, look at you, all stupid and shit. It's a fact. It's in the game notes, brah. Chad Kelly has never lost to Saskatchewan. He's 3-0. Why are you losing your minds? It's just so damn easy. It's like taking candy from a baby. Not even a challenge. Darren writes in from Melfort. Where were you, Darren? I was trashing you earlier for hating on me and picking Winnipeg to win last night, but then celebrating Cody winning. It's literally a win-win, Darren from Melfort. If the Bombers win, I'm right in my pick. If the Elks win and Cody Fajardo, I'm happy because he's my guy. I'm not sure what you don't get about that. But Darren says, morning, go Riders go, but I think Toronto wins. I picked Toronto on Bet365, so if Toronto wins, is that a win-win? It's whatever you want it to be. Why are you complicating this? Pick whoever you want. How about that? You do you. Kevin the Medium writes in, he says, Killam is allowing those players to shine. It will be interesting to see if Calgary and BC can turn it around. As for the Smurf Mafia, they're done. Here's another one. He's talking about Winnipeg. He calls them the Smurf Mafia for those that don't celebrate. John I left my gong in Florida, just so you know, or I would be gonging it. Says, Football Friday. That's what we're doing here. Spending nowhere near as much time as the other shows that are on the NHL Draft. But we will next hour. This is all CFL here right now. Nelson writes in, our VP of Sim Events. He says, the big rumbling today is one of two things. The CFL may walk back some or all of the rule changes, or the Elks will announce consultation has begun to regain the name Eskimos. Okay, well, on that, I got a text last night. I got it right here. I'm not going to tell you who it's from. He texted me. He says, I have news. So I wrote him back. I said, what's up? He says, I'm hearing some of the revised changes for the future are being discussed or reanalyzed per some folks. Well, to me, that would fall in the category of fake news. In fact, to me, that's not news. That's rumors. Like Justin Dunk and I have had, because we respect each other and we've been in this industry a long time at a high level, we have different definitions of fake news. As a matter of fact, Dunk's definition is correct. Mine's wrong, but again, you do you. If you look up the definition of fake news, it's incorrect or misleading news. That's Dunk's definition, and he's probably right. Mine, fake news, is stuff made up to get clicks that may or may not be right. Rumors, gossip, blah, 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 which there's a lot of people doing that. This falls in the category of my definition of fake news. They're going to talk about walking back the rule changes. That's not something that I care to sit and talk about here today. Why are you doing that? You're bowing to public pressure? Scary stuff to me. And then just last week, I saw the president of the Edmonton Elks, Chris Morris, tell the Canadian press, which I would like to think is the standard for journalistic integrity in this country. He told them in an interview that they're not going back to the name Eskimos because it's simply not viable. So until that changes, I don't care what the damn fake news says. Or the guy that's in my inbox saying I have news, they're going to change the rules. I said at the start of the show, I'm in a great mood. Please, numpties, don't ruin it for me going into this weekend. And don't make me change what I'm talking about. I'm trying to talk CFL. I'm trying to talk about the games. I saw Luke Wilson saying on Twitter the other day about what a nice change it is to have people actually talking about on-field stuff rather than the potatoes that are bringing up nonsense. I don't know. I'm trying to go along and get along. But give me 30 seconds to say that, oh, we've announced all these changes. Oh, wait. No, now we're not. How many times have I said, and you all know, the league has a credibility issue? Do you think this helps at all? And I'm sorry, it's where me and the Saskatchewan Roughriders diverged down different roads because they were doing some really dumb things and frankly illegal things that they got nailed for. And they were like, you need to cover for us. I'm not doing that. I won't do that. And now this. I can't clean up your shit. Stop shitting in your front yard. You need to cover for us. It's the same mentality. No! Vancouver Eric writes in and says, on a positive note, another great game last. Thank you. I'm not laughing at you, Vancouver Eric. I'm laughing at Jason Red Deer's comment. You're not wrong, Jason. He says, can we all just take a moment to laugh at the post from TSN, the exclusive broadcaster of the CFL that said the Elks are 4-0? In less than 2 minutes, we're going to take a break. I'm going to go for a brief walk and just calm down. Because this is kind of where we're at. I got sucked into thinking they're 4-0 because I saw they're 4-0 for the first time since 20. They're actually not 4-0. So they're 3-0. So what is it? I'm trying to get along, but I was brought up in this industry where facts matter. And like, I get people make mistakes. I get it. I do. You know, accuracy matters. But I feel like we're drowning in quicksand. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to the top cheeses who are hiring these people. Yeah, thank you, Carlos in Indianapolis says so much for don't ruin the vibe. Exactly, right? AJ says if field changes cost $8 million in Regina, does that scale up to $72 million for the whole league? Money's tight in the CFL. Jeremy says, shovel. You want me to shovel the crap? I didn't. I don't shovel manure. That was my job for a long time. I didn't like it. I'm not going to shovel their crap for them. Oh, we did. We decided to do all these, and then we never thought about the. I'm going to get up and go for a walk, so hang on. I'll be back. 902-518-3033. It's the RP Show on a Football Friday. We'll be right back.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back on a Football Friday, everybody. I went for a walk. I don't know if it helped. We'll see. 902-518-3033 is the text line, and it is rife with comments from you beautiful viewers. The text lines for Western Dodge, proud partners of the RP Show. Western Dodge, big city selection with small town service, and the official vehicle supplier in the summer for the RP Show. I love them at Western Dodge. And by the way, when we talk hockey, which we'll be doing far more in hour two, It's brought to you by the Mad Greek. Are you craving the famous Greek ribs that everybody is raving about? They got it handled. The Mad Greek, open till 11 p.m. nightly. Dine in, pick up, or order online. TheMadGreekEatery.com. I'm about to delve into some more comments here regarding the actual games, but Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, if you're still watching, can you just humor me and tell me who is reporting that the CFL suits are considering walking back all of their changes? Can you please tell me? Because I didn't see any of this. I'll say it again. I got the text in the middle of the night from a guy who said, "Oh, this is happening." I didn't pursue it. You wouldn't believe the info that I have on this thing. You wonder why Tom Brady didn't want to give up his cell phone. Regarding last night's Edmonton Elkamos 23-18 victory in Winnipeg, Wilf writes in, he's watching in Steinbach, Manitoba. He says, "Hey, Rod, Bombers' turnovers and missed field goals cost them the game. The Elks still had trouble putting it away, and Willie Jefferson did play. Thanks. I was watching sporadically while broadcasting baseball here yesterday, which I said I can't do two things. Oh, my God, DeBuck was texting me during the game. I'm like, stop it. I didn't even write him back. But in any particular game, and I'm also thinking life is a lot like this too, the winner is the one that makes the least mistakes. So to say, Edmonton didn't win it, we lost it. Who cares? Who got the 2 points? Who cares? I'm saying this. Wally Wano said it. If anybody was willing to listen back in the day, every time Wally spoke, it was a friggin' self-help book. He said football's about confidence. You see the confidence building in Edmonton on a game-by-game basis, right? And I go back to the defense employed by the Bombers yesterday. The Richie Hall defense works if you have the right personnel to employ it. And it was pretty soft coverage last. Cody was just dink, dink, dink. And then it got late in the game, and I feel like the Bomber defense panicked. Edmonton was playing confident, and of course they were going to come back and win. Can Winnipeg get this confidence back? I don't know. I feel like that horse is out of the barn and down the road. That's their job to figure it out. Kirk in Toronto. Oh, producer Corey says the horse. You're saying the horse is going to Tim Hortons? Everybody's wondering why I'm not drinking Tim Hortons today. I couldn't get near a Tim Hortons in this town, and I went to 3. I'm like, what the hell's going on in Moose Jaw? It was lined up for, and I'm like, oh, is this like when it's minus 40, there's 2 blocks of a lineup, but nobody will go inside? No, I parked, went in, lined up out the door there. I don't know what's going on in Moose Jaw. I think people was just loading up for the weekend full of coffee. So, yeah, I went to the golf course. Morning, gentlemen. Nice dub last night. Will, I'll have your gift card tonight. You got it. The boys, the hottest team in the WCBL, the Moose Jaw Miller Express. I love them, and they love me. Pulled up at a red light last night. After the game, we ended early. We cleaned up on Sylvan Lake fast. So I drove around town. It was a beautiful sunset. Took some photos. Check out my personal Instagram on that. And then we pulled up to a red light on South Hill. I'm in my Dodge Hornet from Western Dodge, and this car pulls up beside me, a Chevy Impala with 5 young men in it. Guess who they were? And I hear this, "Hey, Rod!" Rolled down the windows. It's 5 young Millers. I said, "What are you guys doing?" "We're cruising." They just won. Why not? I said, "Where are you going?" One of them yells, "To the strip club." You understand boys will be boys, right? And then as I drove home, I just thought about everything my dad said. He knew I was going to do it. He knew it. They're going to do it. The question is, can you do it safely and do it smartly? That's what I'm here for. Anyways, back on point. David, number 2 in Winnipeg, writes in, says, "Good day, Rod. It seems that the postgame..." David, I'm going to read this verbatim, what you said. I think you need to proofread it. Or maybe it's right. I don't know. I don't understand what you're saying. "Good day, Rod." David, number 2 in Winnipeg, says, It seems that the post-game news conferences mostly contain reporters who seem to care more about getting camera time than asking a substantial question. Well, that's something that, I don't know, maybe we need to do an Instagram Live or a face. I don't want to waste time of this valuable show on that. You have to understand, I've pretty much stopped asking questions in the news conferences because, again, my questions go right down. Here's an example. Right after the Olympics, when the Team Finland said they wanted Paul Maurice, they approached the Hockey Federation of Finland and said, can we get Paul Maurice to coach us? And that was a big thing, remember? I asked Paul Maurice in the first news conference when the team reconvened in Fort Lauderdale, hey, Paul, did you hear about that? And he's like, I heard a little bit about it. He was very uncomfortable about it. And as I've gotten to know him, that doesn't really surprise me. And I said, and then you know me, it's two hockey guys talking. I said, come on, you don't want to coach Team Finland? And he's like, no, I don't. He was like on his heels. And I'm like, I immediately went up to the PR people afterwards. I said, I didn't mean to make him uncomfortable. I didn't expect that answer. So I'm like, you know what? I just won't say anything. I don't need to cause problems. It's not what I'm here for. So the point is, and that's the Florida NHL media is a lot different than the Canadian NHL media, I'll tell you that. But more than anything, it is, and we know them, the people that want to get the good Instagram shot standing at the podium, it's different. I'm just an old dog trying to navigate my way. Kirk writes in, he says, when I watched my first CFL game in 1971 at C&E Stadium, and I know I'm not the only one, I'm really going to miss the 55-yard line. It's uniquely Canadian. Rest in peace. He goes on to say, I can't wait for the Argos Riders game tonight, but not those Rider uniforms. Ugh. Prairie Blizzard, they're calling it. I'm not against any progress. They're doing this to sell jerseys. I will say this. Man, did they smash it right out of the park last year with the obsidian green, to the point that I broke down and bought some Rider stuff because I just love that green so much. Well, hey, hang on. Producer Corey says, a Saskatchewan strip club. Hope the lights are dim. Come on, Corey, that's rude. We had one that was called Dancers, and it was actually pretty good. If you were having a party and you needed a private dancer, can I say this? I feel like I can. Across the U.S. South, the Bible Belt, cover your ears if you want, Ryan O Radio, but I took Brent in Wellington, Florida likes that I refer to my wives as wives by number. 1, 2, 3. I took one of my wives with me. Thought that was nice. I was booking an entertainment for my brother's strip club, and they had Polaroids on the wall. I thought that was a great way to go about it. But I don't think that place. I haven't been in a strip club in a really, really long time. Nelson, what's up, Benny? Take it. Yeah. Nelson says, I remember Dancer's Strip Club. Were you in that car last night? Yeah. You were in there. Yeah, of course you were. You're always in the middle of it. Yeah, exactly. He says, remember Dancer's Strip Club? They couldn't serve liquor, so they served milk and pizza pops. Ben just laughed. Listen, I'm living on milk and pizza pops this summer. And peanut butter granola bars. I'm living on it. It was the greatest place in the world. So anyways, this is the guy that just came. He picked up the speaker, and the boys are going over here to work out. It's good talk, isn't it? Anyways, this guy, Ben, he might have been the one that said he was going to the strip club. Trying to keep it on. Oh, this is the guy that in our home opener, bottom of the 9th. Walk-off home run by us against the rival Red Sox. A brawl gets started. I had it on film. I was filming it. That little bugger right there, Ben Wolochuk from Wichita, Kansas. His dad, Lonnie, is a PBA god, Professional Bowling Association from Wichita. And I posted it to my Instagram. I said, this guy started the brawl. 2 nights later, at the Meet the Millers night at the Crush Can, he comes up to me and he goes, Rod, I know that you said that I started the brawl, but I didn't. I said, yes, you did, Ben. I filmed it. He goes, oh, yeah, okay, I did. Namaste. The light in me recognizes the light in you. I'm like, you guys, you can't get away with anything. You should have saw what we got away with. Oh, my God. Where are we? Oh, Brent in the Bridge City writes in and says, Showgirls in Saskatoon got closed down, right? Never made it there, I don't think. We got 40 seconds. In 2008, John Lynch had to fill in for a rider broadcast for Carm, and he was all nervous the night before the game, and I said, I know exactly the remedy. I took him out of the town. We ended up at a strip club. We were dancing on stage. I've changed. Next hour, none of this. Trust me. Mike Davis will join us. We'll be talking a lot of football and a lot of NHL. We'll see what comes up right after this.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
How about that?
Like a strip club. Hi, everybody. It's me, the champ. It's Football Friday, although there will be a lot of hockey talk mixed in because that's what we do here. We're welcoming viewers across Nevada as we are Nevada's favorite hockey show, they tell me, on Silver State Sports. I woke up this morning with a phone full of text messages from my buddies. Everybody's geeked up for the weekend for a variety of reasons. And if you're not already, we're going to get you geeked up. And that includes our good friend Mike Davis. The Vegas Nighthawks are home on Saturday night in Major Indoor Football League play in Henderson, Nevada. There's just a whole lot of shaking going on. As a matter of fact, let's quit Mickey Mousing. We talked about this last hour. We'll do it again for our partner and sponsor of the warm-up, Neil Chark, Uniglobe Carefree Travel. He says, we got to sell this cruise out. You've never been on a cruise. You'd love to go on one, and you're a fan of the Canadian Football League. We can put them both together. Departing February 20th out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, my beautiful home, 7-day cruise. Join CFL great Adam Bighill and Saskatchewan Roughriders linebacker Jameer Thurman on a 7-day cruise of a lifetime. Prices from $18.99, cruise only. Imagine the hot stoves. Contact Neil Chark at Uniglobe Travel. Neil, that's Neal, at uniglobecarefree.ca. I know that by the time this airs in prime time in Vegas, the draft will probably, well, it won't be over, but it certainly will be started. But that's where we're starting right now for a variety of reasons. We spent the whole first hour on the Canadian Football League, and when Mike Davis joins us in the next segment for Prairie Panels, we'll be talking more ball too. But for the hockey fans, it still is my number one sport. The Toronto Maple Leafs, this will be point one of the Quick Six show topics, have the number one overall pick in tonight's NHL draft. There's no drama going into this thing at all. Canadian player Gavin McKenna, he's from Yukon, right? Or Northwest Territories, one of the two. It's way, way up there beside Alaska. Not only is he expected to be taken with the first overall pick, I saw a meme that said the Leafs already told him they're going to take him number one overall, and I'm sure that they will unless they're complete. The Leafs, who won the draft lottery last month, could also use the pick on Swedish forward Ivan Stenberg, and that's where the drama is, I guess. The San Jose Sharks have the second pick. The Vancouver Canucks will pick third, ahead of the Buffalo Sabres and New York Rangers. The draft will be held over 2 days at KeyBank Center in Buffalo. I'm going to be tuned in. That is the point. That's the poll question for Country Thunder, which the biggest party this summer is coming to Craven, Saskatchewan, July 9th to the 12th, not Calgary because they don't like noise there, but it's coming to Craven, July 9th to the 12th, featuring Lainey Wilson, Creed, and the RP Show. You can get your tickets now at countrythunder.com/SK. Will you be watching the NHL Draft tonight? Round one goes tonight. It'll be 3 hours long. Was it just last year that it was in Vegas and it was so drawn out and all the media was complaining and they changed the format of it? I mean, I don't need to go too far down the road of what they're going to do tonight. We all know that McKenna's going number one. I divulged this last hour. I said, by virtue of NFL fans, thank you, producer Corey, for putting that on the screen. By virtue of my discussions with NFL fans when their draft was held a couple of months, April, in Pittsburgh, I'm like, why are you into this so much? You don't know who the players are. Same as NHL fans. They don't know who these junior players are. And they said, because we want to know who our team picks. We want to know who's coming up in the pipeline. Oh, okay, got it. Plus the show. And I think we all like to see the player get the jersey, come up on stage. That's what I'm in it for. All those years that my dad worked in the NHL, 26 years with the Dallas Stars, he got on the stage one time. It was when they drafted Jamie Oleksiak in the first round, and oh, what a proud moment it was for my dad. I know it's a big night, and I'll be watching for that reason. I respect the hell out of it, but I'm not really that into it, which, second of all, I went and looked at the draft order here. I just went through the top 5. To be honest, my 3 teams are the Vegas Golden Knights, Florida Panthers, and Tampa Bay Lightning. Not necessarily in that order, but Vegas doesn't even have a pick in the first round. Florida doesn't have a pick in the first round. They traded it for Brady Tkachuk, which is fine. And as I sit here, Tampa doesn't have any picks forever. Three of the biggest, best teams in the NHL don't even have a pick in the first round. Why are we watching? Oh, right. The show. And that's why we'll be tuning in. So that's fine. Round 1 tonight. All subsequent rounds go Saturday. And that's what I have to say about the NHL draft. The teams we follow don't even have a pick tonight. The Florida Panthers are throwing a party in their practice facility in Fort Lauderdale. To be honest, if I was there, I'd go. I would go just to be around everybody. But that's the extent of my interest in the whole thing. Thank you. Yes, Monty, my team is playing tonight. We have Sylvan Lake, and we're going to have our way with them as we did last night. Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, writes in. He says, it would be very Leafs if they didn't take Gavin McKenna. But I'll say it again. I saw a meme somewhere that said that they've already told him they're going to take him, and that wouldn't surprise me. Okay. I'm getting out of this. I just tell you that the text line's open, 902-518-3033. Ball for all. Mike Davis joins us next from the Vegas Nighthawks, CFL alum. There's a whole lot to talk about with him. I'll get to the other rumors that are circulating in a second, but we have business to get to. So point 1 is the NHL draft, oddly enough, on this June 26th. Point 2 is World Cup. Australia and Paraguay played to a 0-0 draw in a result that clinched a spot in the knockout round for the Socceroos. I guess that's the Australian team's name, and will likely be enough for the Paraguayans to advance in the other Group D matchup. Con Aon scored late in stoppage time to give Turkey a 3-2 win over the USA. It was Turkey's lone win of the tournament. The Americans had already secured top spot in Group D. Canada will face, I do like saying that, Canada. I was the voice of Team Canada at the World Junior Hockey Championship. That was proud. They'll face South Africa on Sunday in Los Angeles in the knockout stage of the FIFA World Cup. South Africa upset South Korea 1-0 in Mexico City on Wednesday to finish second in Group A. Canada, the runner-up in Group B, advanced to the round of 32 for the first time despite a 2-1 loss in Vancouver to Switzerland, which topped the group. Are you like me and the media is ruining a lot of your love of life? Stay tuned. Canada opened the tournament in Toronto with a 1-1 draw against Bosnia-Herzegovina and earned its first ever World Cup victory in a 6-0 win over Qatar in Vancouver. I'm going to be doing a lot of meditating this afternoon to get ready for the baseball game tonight. Why, you say? Because I'm watching Sports Center, and I'm close to being a senior, and they are interviewing the coach of Team Canada, and the whole idea of it was the media is going, you said that you were going to play Alphonso Davies against Switzerland, then you didn't. So what do you have to say about that? And Jesse Davies, the coach of Team Canada, if I have his name right, Jesse Davis, he was like, they're trying to win a soccer game? And literally, he goes, if Team Switzerland has to spend 2 to 3% more time on how they're going to defend Alphonso Davies, that's what I'm in this for. He was just like, of course, the TV network cut off who asked the inane question. What are you, 8? Like, it's a very rare that you've got a coach that says, this is what we're going to do in the game. We did have a guy, and his name was Don Matthews. The man. I'm going to tell you, the older that I get, and I don't know if Mike Davis is watching yet or not, but he coached with the Argos. Mike did, as did Don Matthews, and the Don coached here. And back in the day, i.e. Saskatchewan, the rectangle. And when you were around him, especially as a media guy, he was unbelievably intimidating. But now I get it. I was never, like, I got along with him, but I was also really scared of him, the Don. That's my point. He would say, this is what we're going to do Saturday. Try and stop us. Nobody ever could. He retired as the winningest coach in Canadian Football League history. He was also a Vietnam War vet, so he's the only coach I've ever known that said, this is what we're going to do in the game. Try and stop us. So the coach of Team Canada's, so we lied about who we're going to play in the game. Sorry. Sue me. Media ruining my fun of sport. .3. Toronto Blue Jays infielder Ernie Clement is heading to the MLB All-Star Game after finishing as the surprise top recipient of fan votes among American League players. The top vote getter in each league earned an automatic spot on their league's roster for the Midsummer Classic. In a far more expected result, LA Dodgers two-way superstar Shohei Ohtani received the most votes among NL players. The top two Phase 1 finishers at each position, and the top 6 outfielders advance to Phase 2, where they will be subjected to a new round of voting. How about this one? Toronto has a finalist at every available position with catcher Alejandro Kirk, first baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr., third baseman Kazuma Akamoto, shortstop Andres Jimenez, outfielders Dalton Varsho and Jesus Sanchez, and DH George Springer, all making the cut. The All-Star Game goes July 14th in Philadelphia, and I'm getting a bang out of this. It's not just the media ruining my fun of life. It's some fans, too. Headline this morning, USA Today, too many Blue Jays at the top of All-Star voting. Why do you think that is? Went to Game 7 of the World Series last year against the Dodgers and almost won it if the bullpen didn't blow it again. Why do you think it's called prisoners of the moment? If anybody could think, whatever's the most recent top of mind. Recency bias, that's what it is. Recency bias. Prisoner of the moment. That's what it is. Everybody knows who these guys are. Why do you think Donald Trump's the president of the USA? Whether you want to call it a popularity contest or what's in the forefront of your mind. So everybody following whatever's the first thing in front of their mind. I said, don't ruin my fun for the weekend because I woke up this morning in a great mood. Let's keep it that way. 902-518-3033. Whoa, it's 111. Thank you. 1111 Mountain, 111 Eastern. I could use that. And we're going to get there, visualizing a positive outcome and then living there because it so totally works. Producer Corey, stop it. Back away from the keyboard. He just wrote into the streaming. He says, what's in the forefront of everybody's mind is the end of a laser point. Right? Just, it's the way people are. I said this last hour. Listen, for the CFL fans, which we're going to get into this next, everybody's mad at me because I'm saying death, taxes, and Cody Fajardo winning. That's what you can count on. The star University of Nevada, Reno quarterback Cody Fajardo just keeps winning. And people are writing in going, well, but you picked him to lose last night. I say, yeah, going into the game, but when he won, I was happy. It's what it's marketing. It's in Florida. A lot of the media there's mad at me because I say my Cats and Bolts podcast is Florida's most watched and favorite hockey show. I don't know if it is. I just say it. It's marketing. It's not just Floridians or Nevadans or Canadians. It's the way people are. Flip off the lights and wave a glow stick at them. Oh. People just believe what they're told. That whole marketing shtick, the Saskatchewan Roughriders being called Canada's team, came from me. Pissed everybody else in the league off. We don't care. We sold a lot of jerseys out of it. 902-518-3033. What are you talking about, Carlos, in Indiana? I missed it. They're having a little party, the streaming chat, about our guests. By the way, as I mentioned, the Vegas Nighthawks are home on Saturday night, another home game weekend. You see they are atop the standings. Nothing new there. Thank you, Monty. Monty with some reasonability writes in. He says, Rod, it's your show. Do what you do. Oh, okay. Well, listen, as we're here, and I don't know, is the NFL in mini camps now? I don't know. I got enough. My baseball team's playing. I'm broadcasting that. The CFL's going. I'm up to my eyeballs in that. And that's what I'm following. And clearly Mike Davis, too. And we'll talk indoor football. If there are any NFL questions, you're more than welcome to lob them at us. But really all that is a bunch of fake news there, too. And how's this guy going to be? How's that? And players getting in trouble. Can we open training camp soon, please? Because they're young men, and that's what happens in the offseason. But on the death, taxes, and Cody Fajardo winning thing, which, by the way, the dude almost retired last offseason. He was offered the receivers coach job at Nevada with the Wolfpack, and he turned it down. He's coming back, and as Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, writes in and says they are 9-4 dating back to last season. The Elks are truly on a heater, and Fajardo seems like the straw that stirs the drink, right? I feel like we got to talk with Mike Davis about this in the next segment because he had Fajardo in Sask. And he was not part of the regime that got rid of him. But I do know the coach, Opie, who was like, well, Rod, our offensive guys just don't think he can get it done. I guess I'm blind then. Jason in Red Deer writes, and he says, so Rod is responsible for the Riders selling everything from toothpicks to toilet paper and chips. No. We all work together. I posted this meme today. Competition's at the bottom. At the top, people help each other. You want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together. Mike Davis in next. Calm me down, Mike. You're good at that. 902-518-3033. Any football-related questions, we'll put them on the table. Silver State Sports and Game Plus streaming when we return right after this.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live. Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Welcome back. It's the RP Show. If you've just joined us, what have we been talking about? The NHL Draft Round 1 goes tonight. The Golden Knights have no picks in the first round. North Florida. World Cup playoffs are starting. MLB All-Star voting. And now, ball for all with our guy Mike Davis from the Vegas Nighthawks. What's going on, Coach?
Not much, Rod. How are you, buddy?
Home game weekend for you. Let's talk about that, please. Major Indoor Football League, you guys keep rolling. Talk about that, please, in your prep.
We're in a situation in the year, like obviously we've clinched the playoff spot, so now you're just jockeying for the first or second seed, and it's about getting guys healthy at the right time and peaking right before the playoffs.
Of course, that's how it rolls. But I got to ask you this, because I know you're so keen in what all the other leagues are doing and the teams under your umbrella. Golden Knights don't have a pick, like in the first round. This has changed, man. Everybody was stockpiling picks over the year. Now nobody wants picks. The best teams don't seem to care. Do you guys have a draft?
We don't. But again, I think it comes in all the leagues. I think it comes back to we live in an instantaneous society, right? Everybody wants instant results. Like if I can go win now, what do I need the draft picks next year for? I'll trade somebody and get picks. I mean, that's what it seems like, right? Like you look, and not to jump to the CFL, look what Ottawa just did with Drew Brown. Send him to be a backup because he was a distraction, so they say, or becoming a distraction to get 2 first-round picks and things like that. I mean, it's just everybody wants the instantaneous and instant gratification and want to win now.
But I absolutely have no problem talking about the CFL on television in Nevada because you guys love football down there and it's good. And people tell me that they like it, so we'll come around to that. But it's just your boy Kelly McCrimmon, the GM of the Golden Knights, told me this. He goes, we're not doing anything different in the NHL than when we were doing in junior. So the concepts are the same across all the leagues. And my point is, Mike, there is this sense that it's going to catch up to these teams, the ones that don't put the emphasis on the draft anymore. We haven't seen that yet, but that's just what people think is coming. Do you?
Yeah, but I mean, I think you pay staffers and amateur scouts to be just that, right? Go find the next best guy. Prime example, right? The kid that plays for the HSK, right? The Golden Knights affiliate, Trevor Connolly, undrafted. Everybody thought he was too small. I believe there's a young kid in Chicago that everybody said the same thing. That's too small, can't play in the NHL. And all Trevor Connolly did, I think it was lead the AHL in scoring or something like that. I mean, don't quote me on that, but I mean, every time I turn around, he's scoring 1 or 2, 3 goals. And they keep saying, oh, he's going to be a great prospect. The kid's 20 years old. Somehow he slipped through the cracks. I mean, so that's why you pay staff and you pay people to go find good young players. Like, I really didn't realize how many other hockey leagues there were. Right. There's a hockey league, I think, it seems like it's in every country. I'm just like, holy cow. So there's a ton of players out there.
Oh, yeah. Well, I love the discussion. That's how we could talk about this for hours. And by the way, but the way with Kelly finding players, there is only one Kelly. Everybody's trying to follow what he does. You're not going to be him. You should probably find your own way, but that's kind of the way that it is. But even with you guys, you've had success pretty much since you've got there. Can you humbly say, are there other teams in Major Indoor Football League that are trying to follow what you guys are doing? Like, I kind of feel like if you make your team a place players want to go, that's the key. That's the sweet spot.
Well, I think it's every league is a copycat league, right? You do something well, somebody wants to copy it, and that's a humbling, saying that as humble as you can say it, right? Like we copy some things other teams do. Like somebody has success running certain types of defenses or plays. Hey, let's see how that implements into what we do, right? I mean, that's just, good coaches and good people see good things on the field and same things goes into scouting. So I think everybody's copying everybody. Can you do exactly how we do it? No. Can we do exactly how somebody else does it? No. But the gist of it is, okay, everybody wants to win now, all right? Because you don't get that long a term to have do-overs or build, right? Building and rebuilding is a term lightly used these days.
I know. Well, that's why I I just fascinated to watch what you guys do because I'm like, I'll be over here doing my thing on the media side, and I don't want anything to do with what you guys do because I would screw it up fast. But so to the Canadian Football League, because I know you're down to talk about it. Everybody is with our viewers here too. That's what makes the CFL so fun and unique is it's not like every other league. You got a draft, but you're relying on the NFL draft, right, Mike? You got the Canadian ratio, 40% of your players got to be Canadian. So it's tricky to win in that league. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, I think it's all how you got to get guys that can help you right now, right? And I hate talk. I mean, look at Edmonton. They're 3-0. Everybody thought they weren't going to be that good. Our boy Cody's doing his thing. I mean, now Cody's playing well, but it's really easy with some of the weapons they have. Rankin, the kid Cephas from UTSA. Like they've done a really good job, and kudos to them of finding young talent that can help them right now. But
well, that's where
the league is about.
Yeah, continue. Sorry. Yep.
No, I just think that's what the league is about. Like you have to find good young talent. Obviously, the league is helped with veterans that help teach the game. But when you hire good staffs and good people, good football players are good football players.
Right. And so everybody's raving about this scat back, for lack of a better term, Justin Rankin. Now, you sent him to the CFL, right? And I'll ask you this, Mike Davis. What's more important to you? Trophies on the wall or players sent to the NFL, CFL, or both?
Both. I mean, obviously we do, I'm hired to win football games, right? But my passion is helping young men and helping them get out of this league and use this as a platform to get, whether it's the CFL, UFL, NFL, whatever, right? How can we help you and take what you have and fine tune some fundamental deficiencies, we'll call it, and make you a better player, but also make you a better person.
So did you watch the Edmonton-Winnipeg game last night? Edmonton wins at Winnipeg 23-18 to go to 3-0.
I did, of course. I got to watch.
What'd you see?
I mean, Edmonton is, I think it's better than advertised. And I think Winnipeg is looking around like, do we have to revamp in a hurry? Right? I mean, Edmonton was up, 18-8 or 18-7, and Winnipeg's defense kind of came through. I mean, I think this is the first game since, you love the betting side of things. This is the first game in the CFL that's gone under the total. Like all these games are just track meets up and down the field. And last night looked to be the same. And then somebody dropped the anchor and then the defenses started playing well and Edmonton was able to hold on. But again, you can never bet against O'Shea. Like they're gonna be there at the end when it's all said and done. You can mark my words on it, take it to the bank, and it'll be interesting to see how Edmonton continues. Right, like there's a lot of good football teams in the CFL this year, and the people that are 0-2 or 0-3 aren't as bad as their record looks.
Let me just stop. I do not love the betting thing. If you hear that, don't stop. Don't spread that around. You're better off running a meth lab these days in sports than being into the bet. I do make my picks, though, and I was wrong last night. I had Winnipeg, but I was happy that Cody won. So to tonight, Toronto Sask, man, I'm drooling about this game, and I'm sure you are too. But here's the thing. I didn't get to the game notes till this morning because I live one day at a time. And so I'm looking at the numbers. I'm like, whoa. Toronto was dead last year. Sask wins the Grey Cup, so you're thinking this should be a rout. And then I'm like, wait. Chad Kelly's putting up epic. No, he didn't play last year, but he's never lost to Sask. He's 3-0. Toronto's allowing only 48 yards a game rushing. What the hell? It's like league record stuff. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on this game tonight?
I think again, early in the season, numbers can get skewed. You look who they've played.
Yeah.
Right. Pass heavy teams. And it'll be a good challenge, right? They fly to Sask. They fly to, Sask to play there. And everybody knows Sask is a tough place to play. And Corey Mason and company's got that team humming right now. I do think that Chad Kelly has the weapons to take them down as far as this goes, right? I like the young kids that Mike Miller and Jim Barker have put on the field, right? And it seems like they've got a good young staff that's really playing hard for them. And when you can get that as a first-year head coach early in the season, good things are bound to happen, right? And if you got one of the best triggermen in the league, it makes it a little bit easier for you.
How do you think tonight will go?
I think Sass gets them late. I do. I think, you know, I just think that they're battle tested, right? They get so many guys back from last year, and it'll just be it all. Anytime you go to Sask, it always comes down to turnovers, because if you get some turnovers as the Argos, you can eliminate the crowd. If they create turnovers, then that crowd is deafening, as you know, and it makes it a very tough place to play.
Yeah, it should be fun. Well, maybe just back out of this for a sec. With the short contracts and just the way sports is now, the good news is you can rebuild fast, right? And to be honest, I talked to Reinbold about this. He was on this show. I was like, this is when he was coaching in Hawaii just a couple of years ago. But I said, is it not frustrating to have a bunch of new faces in your room every year as a position coach? He's like, not that big a deal. CFL and college are very similar that way. You coaches don't seem to mind. Horrible for the marketers. Horrible. But you can rebuild fast.
I just, like, if you're a coach, you love the coach, right? Like, you get guys who've been there for 3, 4, 5 years. It's like, oh, how do I keep it interesting? How do I keep it exciting? They know what we're going through. They know the game plans, stuff like that. So if you're genuinely a true football coach, you love the grind and you love the coach.
Okay, that makes sense to me. That makes total sense to me. I think the game of the week is Calgary Stampeders at the BC Lions. They're both 0-2. They're playing in Kelowna because World Cups bounced them out of Vancouver. I don't think the venue is going to make any difference at all. But, I mean, the loser of this game, it's not about who wins. It's about who loses. They're going to be in a big hole.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's saying, oh, Rourke's not playing that well. Everybody, you know, Calgary could just as easy be 2-0. Right? I mean, they lose some tough ones. So at the end of the day, I think that the team that's 0-3 is going to look up, you know, but again, Winnipeg's also 0-3. So you're going to look around people around each other like, okay, well, we're not alone down here. Normally in previous years, you're 0-3. You're 0-3 by yourself, you know, at the bottom looking up. At least you have somebody that's right there with you. Like, okay, we got to crawl out of this together. And one of us is going to crawl out of it and one of us is not. I do think that there's a lot of pressure when it comes down to don't be that guy.
Right? That's why I'll be glued to my television on Saturday, other than going to the latest Jackass movie. I can't wait to see that on Saturday. But the scary part, Mike, is when you didn't expect to be winless. Like, BC thought they were front runners, and I guarantee you Calgary did too. I'm pretty sure Winnipeg was confident. It's one thing to be 0-2, 0-3 and go, yeah, we knew that we weren't that good. I've been there with teams. But when you're winless and you thought you should be better, that's a tough place to be.
Yeah, you quickly start looking around in the room like, we got to look in the mirror, right? Like, but again, who thought Edmonton was going to be 3-0? People thought Edmonton would be, we'll kind of hit our stride late and this and that. And again, kudos to them. They've made plays when they need to make plays. And now you look around and everybody else is like, we have to pick up the pace in a hurry.
It's funny, Jeremy in Winnipeg writes and he says, it's early yet. And he's so right. But the teams don't look at it that way. I'm not sure who's right. Like, it's panic time for some teams.
I think you get a lot of fans who, you know, nothing against Jeremy or anybody, but you get a lot of fans who do panic because they're not used to losing in Winnipeg, right? And that goes across to a lot of teams, but Winnipeg especially. You know, you go to 5 straight Grey Cups, you know, hey, we're winning, right? And they will get themselves. They will be there in the end. That is not without a shadow of a doubt. They will be there in the end. But you definitely did not think you were going to be 0-3 from the start. And so there's probably some soul searching in that coaches in that meeting room today. Like, hey, what are we doing? Right? Like, is this time to? I mean, because Zach took some crazy shots last night, right? You know, I think they're Wilson gets hurt, right? He goes out of the game early, so they're down one of their best playmakers. You know, I saw Newfield got scratched right before the game for personal reasons, so they had to change the ratio and put 3 Americans at O-line. They played 2 American tackles and an American guard, so they had to add another Canadian receiver, which changed their ratio and probably made them, I don't want to say less dynamic. Anytime you have, you know, Dembski and Brady and some of those guys. Like you got some horses anyway, but it makes things, kudos to them for having the depth to do that, but it makes you look around and be like, hey, what is really going on here?
Brent in the Bridge City writes in and says, does Coach Davis have any thoughts on the Terrion Arnold situation for Detroit?
It's unfortunate, man. These kids these days, too much money, too much power, too many dumb decisions, and too many dumb friends, right? Like, make your circle small. I don't need everybody. I have enough friends. You are one of them, right? I don't need to go out and have a bunch of friends. And if you get a bunch of money, I don't need extra friends, right? And now, literally the kid could be looking at life in prison.
Oh, yeah. Well, I admire what you're doing with your team, but especially in Vegas, because I'll tell you, I was telling a story last night. I pull up to a red light after our ball game, and a car pulls up beside me, and the windows roll down. It's 5 guys. They're like, Rod! I'm like, oh, boy. I said, what are you guys doing? I said, where are you going? Because we just won. I don't expect him to go home. And one kid yells, the strip club. And I immediately thought of what my dad, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. So, and you can't, we all did it, right, Mike? So how do you stay on top of that, especially in your town?
Well, I think it first starts with you recruit good character kids, right? I don't want to call them kids, good young men, right? And secondly, why are you here, right? Like, if you can't be here and be focused for 5 months, you'll never make it. And I can't help you, right? If you have to be able to focus. And there's a lot of distractions here. Obviously, being in Vegas, there's something to do 24/7, 365, right? So that's why we do things in the morning. Hey, let's see who's here for the right reasons. And for the most part, we get guys that are here for the right reasons because we preach it from the start. But yeah, it's tough. Like, I understand what happens with the Raiders guys and some other teams and some other people and, women's sports, men's sports. Like, it's so tempting when you have money because there's so many doors that are opened, and you got to have good people. You got to have a good support system. You know that better than anybody.
Of course. Well, I'll tell you what, we've never talked about it because you're in season. We talk more when you're out, but our team here, hottest team in the league, youngest team in the league. We had 75% of our roster turned over from last year. Rookie coach from Secaucus, New Jersey. And I said, you, Michael Gonzo, you're going to win 5 to 10 games on culture alone. We've won 15 on culture, and we're not even at the halfway point. It's bringing it. They're all playing together. Oh, my God. That's why we love it, Mike. That's the love of it, right? That's the love of it. Seeing them come together.
When you see them grow up in front of you, that's where it's like, okay. It's kind of like you want to pat them on the butt, like, great job, right? And you just keep pouring into them. That's all you can do.
Yeah, it's funny because, you know my history. Everybody's like, oh, you're such a homer, Rod. How can you not be in my position, when you love them so much and you're with them every day? How could you not pull for them to be successful? So, all right, Coach. Well, we're following closely. Good luck tomorrow night, and thanks for the time. We'll keep in touch.
Appreciate it, Rod. Have a good weekend.
We'll chat with you in a week. You too. Mike Davis, the head coach and general manager of Major Indoor Football League's Vegas Nighthawks. When we come back, we've got a sports update and viewer takeover the rest of the way, and a lot of comments pertaining to what we've been talking about all day, both hours of the show, and I can guarantee you that they're highly entertaining. So we'll be back in a moment. You are watching the RP Show and listening to it as well. Silver State Sports, Game Plus, streaming, podcast, and WQVZ Radio.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. We got 20 minutes almost. Time for you and me. Hope you enjoyed that chat with Mike Davis as much as I did from the Vegas Nighthawks. Are you a Nighthawks fan yet? Yes, I know. Vancouver, Eric, Winnipeg is 1-2, but they might as well be 0-3. But I get what you're saying. Our good friend, the sports doctor, Dave Patrician, was on the air in Winnipeg this morning. 680 CJOB, Manitoba's information superstation, asking the question, are the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in trouble? I said it's like my recovery coaching business. Do I have a drinking problem? If you're asking, you do. If you're asking if the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are in trouble, they're in trouble, and they have been in trouble for a while. Oh, I would have loved to listen to that show. Oh, I'm sorry, Jason in Red Deer. Jason in Red Deer, hello. He says, Mike, have you attended any Raiders workouts? Are you a Raiders fan now, Jason? We'll ask him that next week. I don't think Coach Davis would have been at Raiders. I can't speak for him, but I've been following what he does. He's pretty busy with his own team. Another from Vancouver, Eric, and says, team culture versus team talent. Which you talking, RP? Both. To be honest, the actual quote that I said after our Meet the Millers night with our baseball team at the local nightclub, the Crush Can, I said this team's going to win 5 to 10 games on culture alone. We're now 13-7, first place in the league. Youngest team in the league, 75% roster over turnover from last year with a rookie head coach. And so we've won 13 games, 10 have been on culture. They're playing for each other. It's unbelievable to watch. And a very, very talented team. But I said to the coach, Gonzo, I said, what are you crediting this to? He goes, talent, recruiting. And I said, who did that? He said, Freeborn. He wouldn't even take the credit. Does that not give you an idea? It's not about who gets the credit. Bill is watching in Brantford. He says, I've been watching since show number 995. Show number 995. Thank you, Bill. He says, everything stops from 12 till 2 p.m. to watch the RP show. Good show today. Signed, Bill from Brantford, Ontario. Thank you, Bill, the home of Wayne Gretzky. I don't need to tell you that. Thank you for watching. I should get to the sports update. It's just much more fun talking to you people. As a matter of fact, let me throw in a couple text messages. You guys have been sitting waiting on this for a while. 902-518-3033. It pertains to a lot of the CFL stuff. But there's not a whole lot else going on football-wise in America right now for our Nevada viewers. So there's a rumor out there, and I'd heard it on my phone last night, or somebody texted me. I didn't want to report it. But people are saying all these radical rule changes that the Canadian Football League deep thinkers proposed in October, like changing the field size, shortening it, not narrowing, moving the goal. I don't even know. Anyways, Vintage Sasko writes in and says, hey, Rod Dog, sounds like some of these CFL rumors are coming from social media accounts with 73 followers. Deplorable, sad. Support real journalists and always credit original sources, kids. I think that horse is out of the barn, Vintage Sasko. And as producer Corey says, that horse has gone to Tim Hortons. That's our Canada's #1 coffee chain for those that don't observe or celebrate. Saturday is, are they calling it Touchdown Kelowna or Touchdown Pacific? I feel like they're calling it Touchdown Kelowna. First ever game, Canadian Football League game in Kelowna, BC. Chris writes in, where are you, Chris? You're in either Vernon or Penticton. It's Vernon, right? He writes in, he says, the temporary stadium in Kelowna looks like it'll be a great atmosphere. Fans will feel very close. Oh, I can't wait to tune that in. That is the game of the week for me. The World Cup in Vancouver has squeezed the BC Lions out of beautiful BC Place Stadium and forced them to play in Kelowna in a stadium that holds 20,000. Should be fun. David number 2 in Winnipeg, your comment's going to have to wait until after the break because it's going to take too long. It has to do with the Gentleman's Club story that we were getting to earlier. So, producer Corey, you'll like that. And we never did get to the sports update. There is sports going on, not just our stories today. Jeremy writes in, he says, I really think the Cowboys are going to win the NFC East, and I think the Chiefs will bounce back in a big way. It's a little early to be drinking today, Jeremy. We'll be right back on the RP Show, Silver State Sports and everything else.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and
Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge. Big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca. All right, it's overtime. I'm just looking at these comments from the viewers, and we're going to get to them all. Overtime is brought to you by Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, an amusement park for hockey players. That was my slogan for them. Their slogan is, where skill and fun collide. They both work. Check it out this weekend. 28th Street Northeast, Calgary. $20 an hour, lane time, shoot pucks until your heart's desires. It's a lot of fun for people like us. Speaking of people like us. Okay, here it is. David, number 2. How did the topic of strip clubs come up? It came up. We're not going to get to the sports update. I'd rather tell my stories. I was just saying, 5 of these young ball players pulled up at a red light beside me last night after the ball game, which we won. The nail biter against Sylvan Lake Gulls. And the guys yelled, "Hey, Rod!" They yelled at me. We rolled down the windows. I said, "Where are you boys going?" They said, "The strip club." Which we don't even have a strip club, but that's what they said. And whatever. And the conversation devolved from there. David, number 2 in Winnipeg, writes in. He says, "I'm really enjoying the show today. Talk about strip clubs makes me think about my own misspent youth. Fortunately, I met my one and only wife of 38 years. Otherwise, I probably would have ended up God knows where. Keep up the great content." Well, hey, people plan and God laughs. That's what I say. I would love to have been married to one woman for 50 years like my dad. That wasn't in the cards for me. And speaking of that, I was talking about this morning with the 12-step stuff. I do a lot of work with the military on mental health, addiction recovery, and I walked into, let's just say, the headquarters. I got to be careful with what I say. It was I don't know, it was the size of this. And it was full of desks like a schoolroom with computers on them, with a armed forces officer at every single one. And I was with a commanding officer, and I said, "What are you guys doing here?" And he goes, "This is a simulated invasion. We're calling it Operation Anastasia." And I went, "Oh." He's like, "What?" I said, "I knew a stripper in Vancouver named Anastasia." I'm sorry. I said, "Sometimes my misspent youth pops up." He leaned over to me and he goes, "If that's how you spent your youth, you didn't misspend it." So we're helping these young men keep it on the rails. Because as we said, they're going to do it. Kirk in Toronto writes in. He says, "A report that Ontario is a hotbed for Canadian billionaires. It's where they live. How about that?" I love how much you Ontarians love Ontario. I love that. But think about it. That's where the people are. It's where the billionaires are going to be. It's math. Come down to Florida sometime. where we got 31 million plus. It's 4 times the size of Toronto. I'll show you some billionaires if you want. Oh, back to the exotic dancer thing. So where I grew up, I kind of got a kick out of this. Dwight Yoakam was telling a story the other night on the microphone. There were people bitching about the sound in the venue last night at the Dwight Yoakam show. I heard every single word perfectly. And he said, the bus driver said, where are you guys going? And he said, where are we going? His bus driver, Dwight Yoakam. He says, when you get to the end of Montana, keep going. I was only raised 40 miles north of the U.S.-Canada border. Where I'm right now, Moose Jaw is a little north of that. But we didn't have strip clubs where we grew up, so we had to go to Montana. So me and my buddies, which were largely my cousins, we would go down to Plentywood, Montana. And as Marvin Donald from Weyburn said, they should call it Plenty More instead of Plentywood because they give you everything you want and plenty more. Anyways, we would come back from a weekend in Montana or even a day. It's not that far. And some of us would have glitter on our face. And my mom, the greatest farm gal of all time, she just looked, you boys been at the strippers, haven't you? Yes, Mom. Jeremy in Winnipeg writes, and he says, have a good weekend, everyone. Enjoy the games and the draft. Cheers. Heard this stat the other day. 1 in every 5 pair of jeans sold in America is Wrangler. Producer Corey's lived here long enough, he can attest. I would say 5 out of 5 pairs of jeans sold in Saskatchewan are Wrangler. What do you think, Producer Corey? Mm-hmm. He says, yeah, you'd take that bet. 5 out of 5 pairs of jeans sold in Saskatchewan are Wrangler. I will say this. Have you guys seen the video of the grizzly bear potentially attacking the lady in Alberta? Have you seen that, Corey? It's got millions of views. It's just... Okay. He didn't see that. He saw a guy feeding a bear to a bear. Whatever. This lady was out for walking her dog. I'm guessing Canmore, Kananaskis area. We've been out there a million times. And it said how I couldn't watch the whole video because I'm like, something smacks of this not being authentic to me, because if I had a grizzly bear circling me, I wouldn't be filming it. No, you can see that her dog, she got a dog on a leash and she's filming this grizzly bear. What wasn't fake was that this grizzly bear come out of the trees and he was circling her. I would not be filming it. Jason in Red Deer says that grizzly bear video is wild. Should I watch I exited out of it because this can't be real. If there's a grizzly bear circling me and my dog, I'm not going to be filmed. The phone will be gone. My God, one time my little Yorkie ran down the street, got off the leash. I threw my phone. I threw my kid too, which was tough, but couldn't let my dog get away. I'm not filming it. Give me a break. Anyways, we covered a lot of ground and a way more than I thought that we would today. So everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy all of the sports. I believe we're going to be doing the live stream on Sunday, one day at a time. Follow my social media channels and the shows for details on that. Canada, South Africa, and a World Cup knockout stage game. See you Monday here on Silver State Sports, WQVZ, and Game Plus streaming.
That